Hi, I'm Doc Hunsley, the Executive Director and Founder of SOAR Special Needs. And here at SOAR, we love coming alongside churches and helping empower them to become a Luke 14 church and welcome families with individuals with special needs and disabilities. All right, now let's go over some simple tips on how to work with an individual with special needs that will truly help you succeed. My first and most important advice for you: listen to the parents when they drop off their child into your classroom. Actually have that conversation with them. So if mom or dad sit there and say, you know what, Johnny had a hard time last night. He really didn't sleep well. We know that Johnny may have a difficult time in class today, and that's okay. We also know if Johnny falls asleep, well, this might be a week we allow him to sleep. Because if we try to wake him up and keep him awake for the lesson and everything, he will have a harder time and we will experience behaviors. However, if mom or dad say, oh, Johnny had an amazing night, he's had a great morning, and then we see Johnny just trying to go to sleep and doing other things, we know Johnny might just be doing that because he's wanting to be a little turd. That's okay too, but we don't need to allow him to do that. That's where we can work through that behavior. So listen to the parents. They will give you a lot of great advice. Again, we know it starts with being a friend, being that guide on the side right there with them. We want to encourage them, give praise frequently, be right there with them, help encourage them to work with their peers, with their classmates, not just be isolated. Maybe you have an individual who's nonverbal. Well, we can also talk with our nonverbal individuals. We can help encourage our peers to talk with our friends who don't talk. How do you do that? Well, Tommy, would you like to go color on the chalkboard, or do you want to draw at the table? And then they can point to the hand that they want to do. And that's how they can communicate to you. Maybe they're quadriplegic, paralyzed, neck down, and they can't use their hands. You can say, hey, blink once for the chalkboard, blink twice for the table, whatever it might be. And they can do that and communicate to you. So just because they don't have words, they can still talk. They may have communication devices. They can use pictures. There's many different ways we can do it, and it's our job to help them communicate. Let's be a friend and help them with that. Now, at the same time, it's absolutely okay as a volunteer to tell an individual no. We need to set limits. We need to help them through that. And we need to make sure we can enforce them. We can't tell our individuals something that we can't follow up on. We can't say, oh, if you don't do this, mom's not going to come get you. Well, they know that's not true, and so they're not going to follow through on that. Instead, we want to limit and tell them how to do things. We can use a first then statement or if then statement. Hey, Susie, if you go to the table, then we're going to get to go play later. Or Tommy, if you sit with their group, then we're going to have snacks later. Or first, we're going to do our worship time, then we're going to go have snacks. That helps our individuals learn how to go through everything and what's going to be coming. Like I mentioned earlier, transitioning is a hard thing for our individuals. So maybe having a timer to let them see how much time before you have to move on will help them. Instead of saying, okay, now we have to go, they might need some extra time in knowing that. So you can get an app on your phone for either Apple or Android. It's called the Children's Countdown Timer. It's completely free. You know you got the right app when you see the one with the little yellow ducky, rubber ducky on it. And what's great about this, you can set the time for however long, 10 seconds to 10 hours, and as it clicks down, it ticks. And so our individuals love watching it. And then, as it ticks down, a picture shows underneath it. And every time it's a different picture. And our individuals love seeing what that picture is going to be. And when it's done, they're ready to move because they know that time's there and it's allowed their brain that time to process to be able to transition. So those are ways we can help. The other thing to know is restraints are always a last resort. Physical restraints or anything are a last resort. and only for individuals who have been trained at your facility to use it. We need to learn how to work with them one-on-one and talk with them and help them through everything. We want to be able to share Jesus with them and help them interact with the classroom and have a great time. But it starts with being a friend and that guide on the side to help them be successful. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. We want to help you take your ministry to the next level. Simply go to our website under churches and we will give you a free hour-long consultation. Come, soar with us.